Or crew members working and living on the station and sending astronauts from here down to the lunar surface. A sort of floating mothership.
Eventually, all four will go down, and then they'll come back and forth from here to get ready to go down to the surface or return home.
Perhaps one day Starship will carry astronauts even further. Air Force fighter pilot and new astronaut Nicole Ayers.
As a little kid, I used to say I'm going to be the first person on Mars. So I had the Mars idea for the dream.
And do you still?
Of course, definitely.
But before Mars, the moon is calling. Tom Costello, NBC News, Houston.
It's all very exciting. That's Nightly News for this Thursday. Thank you for watching, everyone. I'm Lester Holt. Please take care of yourself and each other. Good night.
Kristen Welker hosts Meet the Press every Sunday on NBC.
Live from News 7 KWWL, we've got you covered. This is KWWL News at 6.
Tonight, live here at 6 o'clock on a Thursday, changes to a pregnancy education bill in Iowa. The controversial element being removed from that proposed measure. It's moving on right now in the State House.
Tracking the rain and wrapping up here, and some sunshine for tomorrow. We'll have your full forecast here coming up.
A lot of research happening in this and bring the street system to a level where the future vehicles can use it efficiently.
Tonight, looking at a possible futuristic way to get around Dubuque on the streets there, the new real-time transportation system in the works, and what makes it a little different than just your normal GPS or navigational app. And good evening, everyone. I'm Ron Steele. Thanks for joining us tonight. We can tell you the city of Dubuque right now working hard on a high-tech system to help Dubuque drivers get around the city more easily. The city is getting a grant of about $2 million to help develop a real-time transportation information system which will communicate directly with several vehicles. With that in mind, let's go live right now to KWWL reporter Daniel Perot talking to Dubuque leaders today about this new technology, Daniel, and what it might mean for the future of roadways in the Dubuque Metro. Tell us more.
Ron, this is some cutting-edge stuff. The technology essentially helps vehicles understand and react to their environment in real time better. It's the next phase of Dubuque's SMART program. It's designed to get the street system ready for future vehicles. Dubuque is pushing forward with a plan for new technology that could pass along real-time information to connected vehicles.
You communicate with the vehicle directly, so the vehicle is talking to the system and system is talking to the vehicle.
For instance, if there's an accident on Highway 20,
the system will now transmit directly into the vehicle saying, hey, there's an accident there, take this detour route.
The technology uses mobile networks to communicate with other vehicles, detect hazards, alert drivers to crashes, and improve traffic flow.
Basing on this, we are changing rapidly based on the ground situation.
The interface will combine data from the city, county, surrounding communities, and states. The real-time data can help first responders and road crews.
City folks will know exactly where the bottlenecks are, so they don't need to just change the whole corridor. They can just go to an intersection and say, okay, we need a right lane here. They can fix it.
A private company, Harman, is working on the technology. It's currently in trucks, but the company wants to test it in cars.
The intensity might not be same because a new Tesla might have more capability to transmit more information when compared to an old Ford.
The idea is this technology could go in all cars, but it's especially catered to the growing number of autonomous cars on the road.
The unmanned vehicle will be looking at the system and be reacting to the ground truth so that people can be safe in the vehicles and just move on.
This is all still in the planning phase. The grant will go towards a study that's expected to take a year or 2 years. The full-scale implementation of this project is 4 to 5 years away. Senator Chuck Grassley announced the federal grant today while some Dubuque leaders were actually in Washington, D.C. to meet with lawmakers. Ron?
Yeah, fascinating technology, Daniel, no doubt about that, and a great $2 million grant from the federal government. This funding, by the way, is coming from the bipartisan Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, which the president got through Congress in 2021. Senator Grassley, by the way, did vote in favor of that legislation at the time. In Jones County, one person has been killed and several others injured today. A crash in near Anamosa as a car eastbound on Shaw Road allegedly failed to yield to a car southbound on U.S. Highway 151, very heavily traveled roadway in the Jones County area. 2 of the 4 injured, we're told, are juveniles. The Iowa State Patrol says 3 of the injured were transported to Dubuque's Unity Point Finley Hospital. The 4th was injured and transported to the nearby Jones Regional Hospital. So far tonight, we do not have any names being made public by Jones County authorities. It's 6:03 on a late or evening, I guess we could call it early evening now for Thursday, since it's getting dark out there. Let's shift gears to whether or not we're going to take a look at UNI. Yes, we are. I love that shot there of the Campanile in the foreground and the Unidome in the background. A wet start to our day on this Thursday. Some rain coming down across the viewing area. Most of it, though, is coming to an end. So with that in mind, let's talk with meteorologist Danny Cassidy about that right now. Danny.
Yeah, it's really starting to taper off here, Ron. And I got to say, I wish we had the Iowa State shot of the Campanile as well. I love my clock towers, but yeah, it's out of the area. So I just wanted to get my Iowa State fix in. But yeah, beautiful shot there of UNI. And the rain's dwindling a little bit. Let's show you satellite and radar, and you're seeing it really start to taper off. A lot of that light green, even that's still in the area, Chickasaw County, for example, probably not much of it is falling, if at all is falling. As we go through the evening hours here, we'll keep that slight chance in because there might be a little bit of moisture still kind of coming in. But for the most part, we'll see cloudy skies and some clearing late, and then sunshine for tomorrow. And temperatures back above normal, anywhere from about 10 to 15 degrees. So we'll talk about how warm it'll get and what St. Patrick's Day weekend is looking like. And it looks like you're going to have to bundle up a little bit, especially on Sunday. We'll talk about that more, though, coming up in your full forecast. Ron?
Danny, thanks a lot. Back to you in a few minutes. Now, the bill which would have changed Iowa's fetal homicide law, that is not going to be considered by the Iowa State Senate for this session. It is dead for the year. Both Senate Democrats and Republicans, as you know, had voiced big concerns about the potential impact of this proposed legislation, particularly on in vitro fertilization. Now, Iowa's current state law outlines penalties for terminating or seriously injuring a human pregnancy. That bill would have changed that language to be about the death of or serious injury to what they're going to call an unborn person from fertilization to live birth. The bill had been approved by the House last week, but now it appears to be dead in this session. Meanwhile, tonight, lawmakers are removing a controversial video requirement for a bill that will teach students about pregnancy in Iowa. Now, the Senate Education Committee advancing that bill, it's House File 2617. Just this afternoon, it came out of committee. The bill would set pregnancy and fetal development curriculum for middle and Iowa high school students. They approved the amendment, which removes the requirement to show that Meet Baby Olivia video that a lot of people have seen, or similar videos. That particular video, Meet Baby Olivia, was created by an organization that does oppose abortion.
We definitely do not need any AI deep fake generated videos and information that have been put together to be taught in our schools to lean or sway people one way or another. We have real videos with ultrasounds, and we have true scientific facts and medically accurate information that we can share and teach in our schools.
Meanwhile, Senator Jeff Taylor said today he has concerns about specifying a video produced by a specific group and putting it into Iowa code, but he does support the bill, he said.
Those of us who support it partly support it because we see this as a pro-life bill. I believe that the state and all of us should protect innocent human life, including when it's in utero. So I don't apologize for that. I'm pro-life, and I think that's something that all of us should be. But this is not a religious bill.
Another lawmaker opposed the bill, saying he thinks school districts should be making those decisions. The Senate Education Committee, though, did approve that bill with the amendment about mid-afternoon today. On a court docket tonight, we can tell you that Karina Cooper says she is not guilty of murdering her husband, Ryan Cooper, almost 2.5 years ago. Now, Karina Cooper entered that plea of not guilty this week. She was arrested in February, almost 3 years after her husband's body was originally discovered in rural Tama County. Now, the autopsy report showed that the cause of Ryan Cooper's death was 2 gunshot wounds to his face. Ms. Cooper is charged with first-degree murder in the case. Still to come here tonight, human remains found recently in eastern Iowa have now been identified. What authorities say they're still working, however, to determine. And making sure that drinking water in Iowa remains safe. New push announced today out in Washington, D.C. Welcome back here tonight at 6 o'clock. One Iowa lawmaker is pushing to protect drinking water from lead. And that's Congressman Zach Nunn from Central Iowa, Iowa's 3rd Congressional District, helped bring that bill to the floor of the U.S. House earlier today. The congressman said it will make additional funding available to help underprivileged areas make lead pipe replacements, keeping, he says, Iowa families safe. There are about 160,000 lead service pipes all across Iowa still. This bill would effectively replace those pipes over time.
This disproportionately impacts low and middle income communities, whether it's in downtown Des Moines or whether it's in rural places like, Mitchellville. These are things that we want to make sure that we're helping early in the process.
So this bipartisan legislation has at least been introduced in the U.S. House, but like so many bills, it has yet to even be voted on. Still ahead here tonight, a big development in the investigation surrounding human remains found recently in Burlington in southern Iowa, and how snags in the new FAFSA application process are delaying financial aid packages even right here in the area. A live look right now at 6:11 on this early Thursday evening from the live camera there at New Hampton Elementary School up in Chickasaw County. And meteorologist Danny Cassidy is going to have your complete forecast coming up. You're watching News 7 KWWL. We've got you covered. Here's an update tonight out of southeast Iowa in the community of Burlington. The human remains found recently in Burlington have been identified. They were found in the city on March 7th. Authorities today said they are the remains of Troy Daughtry. Troy Daughtry of Burlington, first reported missing back in 2020, just a few blocks from where the remains were recovered by police last week. The cause of Mr. Daughtry's death remains under investigation. Now, Cedar Falls law enforcement say they are looking into a possible shooting incident along North Division Street. Officers were around the scene early today at about 2 o'clock in the morning and called in the Cedar Falls SWAT officers as well as part of this incident. Initial reports indicate that nobody was injured in what happened there, but one person was taken to the hospital for an evaluation. You know, romance scams, that's right, romance scams on the rise here in the area. The FBI says that in 2022, there were more than 88,000 victims of romance scams all over the age of 60, an 84% increase from a couple of years earlier. Assistant agent in charge of the area for that says elderly are the main targets of these scams, but he says really anyone of any age can be affected. The FBI agent warns people, be careful of those dating websites. If things seem to be too true, they probably are. He discussed some of the shame around reporting that kind of scam, too.
They don't feel like they're trusted anymore, and they don't want people handling or meddling in their own business, right? But this is something where they could lose everything with these scams. And so it's important for us to make sure that we help them as much as we can.
The special agent says some of the telltale signs of scamming are fake photographs or, of course, asking for money really early in your communication with that person. Now, despite the embarrassment, the FBI agent encourages those who may have been scammed, please report it. Don't be embarrassed. Let them know about it. Iowa universities are pushing back their federal student and aid releases for earlier this year, or the offer releases, I should say. In the past, schools were able to make offers for student aid by mid-February. Now, due to the hiccups in the new FAFSA application, schools have had to shift their own deadlines in many cases. For example, at University of Northern Iowa, financial aid director worries that this setback might deter students who need financial aid the most from higher education.
The families that are most impacted by this are those that are probably our neediest families, those that would like to see what types of grants or scholarships am I receiving. The worst case scenario in all of this is just students and families giving up on higher ed and thinking, this isn't for me, I'm going to sit out, this is too frustrating.
Now, both UNI and Drake University say they are looking to release their financial aid offers, the package offers, after the 1st of May. We'll keep you informed on that. Kind of complicated this year with the new FAFSA application there. Let's go outside, 6:17. Let's go to Iowa City, just off Clinton Street, campus of the University of Iowa. The Pentecrest and Old Capitol there in the background. It looks like a cloudy day down there in Johnson County. Let's talk more about weather right now with meteorologist Danny Cassidy.
These pedestrians are getting to me, Ron. They first show UNI and then the University of Iowa. Right. Where's Iowa State? Come on.
That's right. You're an Iowa State grad, aren't you?
That's right. Yeah, I'm kind of annoying about it too. So
even though you're from Minnesota.
That's right. Well, hey, they had meteorology down here, and I said, hey, I'll come down to the Hawkeye State, unfortunately. But hey, you know what? I've been enjoying it here, and I've been enjoying this rainfall, sure, as many of you have been saying or been seeing. So let's show you some of those rainfall totals that we've seen across eastern Iowa. The big four here: Waterloo at 3/10 of an inch, Dubuque over an inch of rain there at the airport, Cedar Rapids just under a half inch, and Iowa City just a couple of ticks under 3/10 or 3/4 of an inch. Excuse me. Some other areas as well: Sigourney at about 8/10 of an inch, Chipola at 4/10. Parksburg a little bit around there, Decorah at 1/15, and Tama just over a tenth. And of course, we'll have a full list. We already have one from earlier this morning, but also with our totals coming in tomorrow, we'll have that as well on kwwl.com under the weather tab. The drought monitor came out this morning, and again, this is not including what we just saw today, but there has been no change since last week. A lot of eastern Iowa is under that extreme kind of severe, or I should say it is extreme drought conditions, with the rest of us under severe and moderate drought. But hopefully this rain will help us out even just a little bit. If we're seeing that rain really start to taper off here, maybe a couple of stray showers on our western edge, but otherwise, I think the rest of the day or evening, I should say, is going to be just mostly cloudy and calm, as we'll see those winds start to diminish a little bit, but we really avoided the worst of it. These are all of the active severe thunderstorm warnings and tornado warnings. I mean, this is basically just a straight line of yellow going all the way through. Since that warm front and cold front was to the south of us, we were allowed to just have general showers and not this mess that a lot of the central portion of the country has been seeing. So here's future track. We'll continue to see those rain showers start to taper off, and by midnight, I think any real chance of any stray showers will be gone. Mostly cloudy, but then start to see some clearing, and then during the day tomorrow, I think we'll have plenty of sunshine. Maybe a few passing clouds here and there, but overall, not too bad of a way to wrap up our work week. The low temperatures for tonight, a little bit cooler, but still not too bad in the mid to upper 30s. Winds will start around 15 miles per hour and then dip down to around 5 miles per hour during the early morning hours tomorrow. For tomorrow, high temperatures in the mid to upper 50s. If we get a little bit of drier air, I think we could very easily get into the low 60s for our southwestern areas, and winds not too bad out of the northwest at 5 to 15. Your city-by-city forecast for Waterloo, Dubuque, Cedar Rapids, and Iowa City. So I think we're going to see a little bit more sunshine Saturday and Sunday, but during the day on Saturday, a cold front will start to move in, bringing some strong winds and cool us down quite a bit there for St. Patrick's Day. So if you're going out on Sunday, make sure to bundle up. Otherwise, though, for the start of spring, temperatures in the 50s. Unfortunately, though, a little bit dry with maybe some isolated rain chances Thursday and the following Sunday. Ron?
Danny, thanks a lot. Still to come here tonight. We'll, of course, have the highlights and scores from Minnesota, the Big Ten men's basketball tournament. The Hawkeyes playing Ohio State right now. And in women's college basketball, NCAA Division III championship Final Four, Wartburg College goes to overtime with Smith. And sports director Rick Coleman has the highlights coming up.
Because I might have to depend on Ron and run my teleprompter. It's kind of dicey. It's like going down the road on the ice with no brakes. Oh, great. So you had it worse than me. Oh, okay. Testing 1, 2, 3. Hey, how much time do we have? 50. Okay.
And both teams point guards, and this should be a fun one to watch.
Red shot clock, it's winding down. Count it. Assistant next year on the women's basketball team, working up.
What's that?
Freshman team last year.
They're down by 5 at halftime.
Now, KWWL Sports.
Division III Women's NCAA Basketball Final Four from Columbus, Ohio. The Wartburg Knights play Smith College for a spot in the national championship game. Wartburg looks to make its first ever championship game, and the Knights lead by 1 in the first quarter. Taylor Rushy is going to drive for the basket and the foul here as Wartburg takes a 17-13 lead at the end of the first quarter. The Knights go 7 minutes before scoring their next batter. That's Natalie Bierbauer hitting from downtown to give Wartburg a 20-18 lead. And then it's Bierbauer with a nice pass to Lauren Wasty for the basket. 22-18 Knights at halftime. The Knights trail by as many as 6 in the fourth quarter before making a huge run. Jaden Murphy, leading scorer, goes inside for the basket to cut the Smith lead to 2, 46-44. 1 minute, 20 seconds to play. Wartburg trails by 3, 8 seconds to go when the Knights, Sarah Faber hits a 3 to tie this game at 48 and send it to overtime. In the extra session, though, Smith College outscores Wartburg 13-6. The Knights fall hard, 61-54, just short of a national championship tilt.